Welcome to the Grow Your Practice podcast. Hi, I'm your host, Chad Madden, owner of Madden Physical Therapy and Breakthrough. Join me each week as we dive into the best practices, systems, principles, tips, and tricks to help you grow your private practice.
Where's the profit in private practice PT? Profits are reaching historic lows in private practice. You probably feel like you're working harder for less money. How did it come to this? More importantly, what should practice owners be doing to survive? In this special episode, I walk through a brand new free training for practice owners to increase their profitability. Tune in to discover the startling truth about shrinking PT profits and what you can do about it. The episode is best watched on video and represents only a short clip of the full video. To watch the complete video and gain first access to the free training, go to getbreakthrough.com/profit now. It's PROFITNOW, no space.
I hear this from a lot of owners. I feel like I'm working harder for less money. In this video, we're going to go over the problem and take a look at exactly what's happening in private practice PT. The problem, if we take a look at the conversion factor from the physician fee schedule, for federal payers since 1994, we can see that we're actually on track to earn less with the proposed cuts here in 2024 than we were earning 30 years ago. That means if you were getting $84.30 in 1994 for a visit, you're getting $84.73 here in 2023. That's a whopping 43-cent raise in 29 years. You might be asking, isn't there inflation factored into that? There is not. In 2024, the proposal is that the same visit that was in 1994 will be reimbursed at $81.93. That's a $2.37 cut from what we were getting 30 years ago. If we look at that and take a look at inflation with no adjustment at all for the conversion factor on the physician fee schedule, when we take a look at what has happened to the value of the dollar over the last 30 years, it has more than halved. The purchasing power of a dollar today is less than half of what it was back in 1994. A visit today is worth less than half of what it was compared to 30 years ago. The average practice today is under 10% in profit margins. This is a critical time. In his book, Simple Numbers, Big Profits, Greg Crabtree, a CPA who specializes in service-based business, talks about this. He said in a service-based business like you and I have, 20% or above in terms of profit margins, that's a great business. The new break even is 10%, and any business that's less than that is on life support. For many of us, and especially industry-wide right now, we're either what's considered the new break even or we're on life support. Where are you at? Where are you in your practice with regards to your profit margins? More importantly, what's your plan to change that here as we move forward with even more proposed cuts? Hey everybody, my name is Chad Madden. I'm a physical therapist. I'm the co-founder here at Breakthrough. And in the last 10 years, I've worked with over 2,000 practice owners in all 50 states here in the US, Canada, and 11 other countries internationally. I've been a practice owner for the last 20 plus years. Currently, we have 7 locations and we're just north of $9 million a year in revenue. We recently had a valuation done here a few months back and we are at $20.8 million. I'm also the host of the Grow Your Practice podcast. I've taught many courses over the years, including Killer Marketing, 24 Months to All-Star, Breakthrough University, Max Value, the Patient Demand course, all to private practice owners just like you. Thus far, we've gone through the problem. We talked about that. I introduced myself and what we do here at Breakthrough. And let's get back to talking and take a look at how we look at profitability or the lack thereof and how it affects not only our practices, but also our personal lives as well. So how do shrinking profits affect practice owners like you and me? How do they affect our practices? I got this, what I'm about to share, from talking with a few dozen owners within the last week. I want to be working on my business, but I can't. I'm back to treating 40 plus hours a week. I've heard we just lost another therapist. I can't compete with what the hospital or the healthcare system pays. I'm already not paying myself what I'm worth. Now it looks like I'll have to pull money out of my own pocket and subsidize my practice just to keep my doors open, stay in business. We're going to be opening another clinic, but it doesn't feel like the right time today. I thought as long as we provided high quality of care, we'd stay busy and we would be valuable in the marketplace. I guess I was wrong. When we break these down, there are essentially a few big problems that we're hearing. Problem number one is a time crunch. We're forced to work in the business when we really should be working on the business, building systems, building our teams, planning for the future, etc. But because of that, we have this huge time crunch. We're doing too many things, wearing too many hats, and we just don't have the time to implement and execute on what we should be doing. Problem number two is that we can't compete with the healthcare system salaries. There's some rumors, I've seen this myself, I've seen the EOBs from actual patients going to our local hospital and healthcare system, PTs, and they're being reimbursed significantly more than we are in private practice PT for providing the same exact service, building the same CPT codes. And that allows them to offer $10,000, $20,000 a year or more in salaries. We can't possibly compete with that. Problem number three is we delay expansion. Something along the lines of we were going to open another clinic and now we're not. We're not going to add an additional 2,000 square feet. We were going to do that, now we're not. We're delaying expansion. Big problem number four is we're giving outside forces like insurance company U or insurance company A, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, we give them control over how valuable that we are in the marketplace. And this is a big problem. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit here, but if we take a step beyond the business, how do shrinking profit margins affect us on a personal level? And I heard this from, again, dozens of owners as well. Honestly, my health and stress levels are not the best. I don't really have time to take care of me. I want to travel with my wife, do things with my kids, and I can't. Forget financial freedom, that's not happening. I don't even need time freedom, although it would be nice. I just want to be able to be present when I'm with my family and not worry about work. I've also heard I've invested a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into my practice. My family has supported me all these years. I really want to be able to take care of them, travel with my kids, send them to college, do things that I care about, support the causes in my community that really mean a lot to me. The practice is our retirement. How can I make sure it stays valuable, leave a legacy? When we break down the big problems that they create for us personally, one, we have mediocre health habits. This is at least half the owners that I talk with, they bring this up in some form. They have high stress levels, they're not getting the sleep that they need, they're not exercising enough, at least up to their standards. They don't have time to essentially eat healthy, they can't prepare healthy meals, etc. They're not meditating or praying or however they take care of their stress levels, and they know that it's affecting them. Personal problem number two is they're missing out on family time. The one thing that I heard, is my wife is going on a trip and I can't go with her. Or I want to be doing, a specific activity with my kids, take them camping, whatever it is. So we have a fear of missing out or actively missing out on time with our family. Big problem number three is falling short financially. I thought I was going to be able to retire this year or in a few years, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Personal problem number four is we compromise on our family experiences or the opportunities that they have. We wanted to take a 2-week vacation. I heard somebody talk about, backpacking through Europe with their family. We're going to be lucky to do a 3-day weekend over the holidays. We're really selling ourselves short on what we can provide to our families because of our shrinking profit margins. These are big problems. In talking with owners, the one thing that really stood out is how we honestly gauge our own financial health based on where our checking accounts are at. So we get this little dopamine hit when things are going really well, or we get a cortisol spike anytime that we're stressed out. So I'm sure at some point during the day or during the week, you're checking the financial balance of your business account. I pulled this from one of my accounts. If I looked at this and we're going to have payroll tomorrow, so I have $8,000 in the account and tomorrow payroll is going to be hypothetically, let's say $25,000, I would panic, get that cortisol spike. I think our payroll right now is really $300,000 every 2 weeks, but you get the idea. Then what we would have to do is there would be a panic. We'd have to move money because we see that we're well short. We're not going to make payroll. So we'd have to tap a line of credit or move money from another account or subsidize payroll with our own money. On the other end, we could also look at the same account and say, all right, I'm doing okay. I have a lot of money in here. The sky's not falling. And we get that little dopamine hit. If you go through this, most of us are gauging our status, our worth in the marketplace, our score as a practice owner based on what happens when we look at the checking account on our phone or on our laptop. So far, we've looked at the problem. Where's the profitability? We see the declining reimbursement, the increased pressure with inflation on our cost to deliver service. Shared a little bit about me, who I am as a practice owner and what we've done here at Breakthrough over the last 10 years. We talked about the ripple effect, how the declining profits affect not only our practices, but also affect us and our personal lives. In the next video, we're going to be going through the profit leak audit. This is an exercise that completely transformed not only how I look at our profitability and our expenses, but also how our directors and my partners here look at our profitability as well. I'm going to share a story about my first conversation of sharing the profit leak audit with a group of practice owners at a live event. And in the future videos, we'll be going over the 4 profit levers, what gets in the way, the barriers that you have to overcome, and how to overcome that even if you don't have time or you're struggling to hire right now.
To watch the complete video and gain first access to the free training, go to getbreakthrough.com/profit now. It's PROFITNOW, no space.